Okay, so welcome back to a new episode. Here we are looking at ATER. Today has been a rough day for ATER. The stock is down by about 8.22%. When we look on the charts, we can see this is also about $1.02. We've been falling across the market as a whole. You can see a few of our favorite stocks down here. A few notable examples are BBIG, which is down over 10%. We are looking at MRIN down by about 10%. Even AMC falling now by about 6% on the day. And when we zoom out to here, as I will highlight in a bit more detail in just a moment, we are down on all of the markets by a really big amount. All of that and more is coming up in this video. Make sure to give it a like and of course subscribe if you haven't done so already. But do remember, this is not, and I must repeat, not financial advice. It is only my personal opinion based on what I personally believe. It shouldn't be taken as fact, it should just be taken as somebody else's opinion. Do not follow me, do your own research and make sure you are extremely informed as to the risks regarding these potential quote-unquote short squeeze stocks. But with that being said, let's jump into the video and let's start looking at this stock. Now, one thing that I initially wanted to start off with was when we zoom out to over here and have a look at the top 4 indices, which generally tell us what the market is doing. We're looking all the way from here at the big cap stocks, the most big cap stocks, which are in the Dow Jones, all the way out here to the smallest of small cap stocks, which are all concealed in the Russell 2000. So the whole market today is red by a large amount, really. The S&P down here falling by about 2% now. The Dow Jones is falling by 1.5, we are seeing the Nasdaq fall by 2.7, and we are seeing the Russell fall even by about 2 as well. So the one thing to take away from this clearly is that the whole market is falling. You know, the whole market isn't doing well, so clearly this stock is no exception. Now, I know these numbers don't sound very big in comparison to what we have seen on ATER, but seeing a 2-3% drop across each one of these indexes is a big deal. You know, these don't really drop by that much very often, and the fact that we are seeing this much uncertainty in the market alongside this much actual negative action in the market, I think it just, whilst it isn't a good thing, it does make me feel a little bit less worried with all of the stocks which I am seeing in my portfolio drop at the moment, simply due to the fact that the market is destroyed. What I'm trying to say, just to sum things up, whilst it isn't good to see our stocks down, whilst it isn't good to see the market as a whole down, the market as a whole is down, so whatever stock you're looking at, it probably isn't too much of an outlier today, as you can see here with ATER. And when we break this down a little bit further, we can see a lot of these had a big drop in the morning, somewhat similar to what we saw over here on ATER. So, you know, it's not really too out of place with today's market motions. Let's have a look, though, on the 5-day chart, what we are seeing over here as well. And we are still in the red over here. From Monday until now, we are falling a little bit lower, but we'll break that all down in just a few moments. What I want to look at over here is the short interest that we have from Twitter. Now, this is coming from user John Hollowatch, so please do bear in mind that this is just his data, again, but it is coming from Ater, so we can see what he has written down here. We'll have a quick read of what he has said. Short interest has gone up by 7.23% to the adjusted short interest of 32.29%. Cost to borrow average is 234%, and that's the highest it has been as far as he can tell. Utilization, however, has dropped to 94.73%, which doesn't make much sense considering how few shares are shown available to borrow. He believes that there is a lag, and again, that is an opinion, but the data is completely true. So overall, this person is sharing their opinion. Again, what you think to that is completely up to you. But what we can see is that the short interest data for the stock is still looking good. Obviously, if we have a lag on that as well, that definitely could alter the figures as well. But again, that is just an opinion and not a fact. But things are still looking good from a short interest standpoint. Now, one thing that I always say with these stocks, whether it's ATER, BBIG, pick your short squeeze stock, one thing that I always say is that we need the community to stay behind these stocks. And unfortunately, oftentimes what we have with these stocks is, you know, a lot of people get into them in the beginning, a lot of people make profits and then just get bored of them or sell them or just cannot hold through dips like this. And you know what, that's fine. Of course, some people are going to be paper hands, this and that. But on the other hand, it doesn't really help the movement. You guys will know that obviously for a short squeeze stock, the few things that we do need is we need, of course, relatively high short interest, and we need long interest from retail investors. Now, when we zoom out to the past month chart over here, we can see the amount of shares traded today for the stock, and this is coming in at 17.85 million. In comparison to the past week, we can see that only yesterday we had figures over here, if it will allow me to highlight them on our screen. So yesterday we had figures out here which were a little bit higher at 38.10, and the day before we had 56.49. Now clearly the day isn't finished, and of course Yahoo Finance figures are not necessarily the most accurate, but we do need the volume to step up in my opinion. But the fact that the volume is still quite low, it does show that there isn't really too much selling as well in my opinion, so I'm not too worried about that either. Now let's have a quick look at the technicals, and then I'll share a few more of my opinions at the very end of the video. We'll start off on the one day where we can see the moving average is a little bit higher than where we are right now at 11.43. We are seeing the MACD trend down here sat a little bit bearish. We can see it was becoming bullish ever so slightly, but now it's coming back down towards the bearish side. We are seeing the RSI figure down here at 40. Now 40 isn't really too far towards the oversold. Bear in mind guys, 20 is oversold, so it does still have a way to go, but yes, dropping between 39 and 40 is definitely coming a bit lower if we do look over there. On the 5-day chart, we are seeing a moving average figure of 11.57. We are seeing a MACD trend which was significantly more bearish than what it is right now, but the trend is still a little bit bearish. It could become bullish in the next few days depending on what does happen, and we are seeing an RSI figure down here, again at 40, which isn't too worrying either. We are seeing a 1 month trend, which is the more inclusive data in my opinion, showing us that the moving average is still sat at 8.34. This makes sense because it is a 50-day moving average, so it's going to be lagging well behind what we have seen in the past week or two. So that's the data that we are seeing for that. We are seeing the MACD trend out here sat a little bit bullish, but it is now flipping over and becoming more bearish as time does go on. And we are seeing an RSI trend quite neutral again at 52. So from an indicator standpoint, things are looking okay. What we have seen in the past month with this stock, yes, we have dropped to levels below where we are right now. We've dropped all the way down to the $10 mark you can see here, and perhaps even ever so slightly below it before seeing a bit of a push back up. So ultimately, I think the stock does have potential to drop lower, but I think once it does, it's not really something to be too concerned about. One thing that I say with AMC stock all the time is that now we know how the trend works. We've seen it drop significantly, we've seen it go back up, and we know what happens along the road. Now with Ater, I believe it is completely different to an extent, but it does have some of the same principles. I'm a little bit more hesitant to say that with Ater simply due to the fact that I know for a fact with AMC there is a lot more interest behind the stock, whether it's from shorts and whether it's from longs. I know a lot more people are interested in it. I know a lot more people are willing to hold for the long term. I know some people are not going to like me to say that, but that's just a fact. You know, more people are on AMC and GME than are on Ater. It doesn't mean it's not, you know, primed for a squeeze as well, but it means that we need to see the actual strength of these investors. We need to see more people holding the stock. Of course, volume to come back in would be a good thing, especially long volume. I think with all that happening, if that does happen, we could definitely see some more uptrend. I think this is not over, but I think it is obviously all dependent on how long investors do feel about the stock and how long investors do act around the stock. If we see more buying, I think we do have that potential to go upwards, but if we see this one slowly start to peter out and see, you know, losses of interest, we could see further drops. Ultimately, I think we probably will see this one go back up, but it is hard to say. Just be aware of both sides. I'm trying to be bullish here, guys, but it is also important to spread the facts. But the numbers are looking good, you know. Whilst the statistics do look good, my opinion will stay the same. You know, if we see the interest remain and continue, I'm going to be bullish. But of course, we can see red days in the meantime. And again, if we do see that interest start to fade, my opinions will certainly change. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon, guys. Goodbye. Thank you for watching through till the end, but let me tell you about our Discord. So on your screen you will be seeing the N2S Finance Discord. Obviously it is split into multiple sections. Basically at the top we have updates from me and all that kind of good stuff. If you scroll down a bit further we have the main sections where we focus on cryptos, SPACs and other hot stocks including penny stocks, even stable growth stocks as well, and we even have a special AMC GME chat. If you scroll down you can see some research and DD from the community. We also have funny memes and you can see actual contributions from members down here. And again, if you do join us, it is completely free, link is down below. But if you do want to become a Patreon, you will actually get a pink sticker which will be displayed on your name. So your name will come up in pink as mine comes up in red down here, and that will show that you are a Patreon. But other than that, guys, you can join completely for free down below. You do not have to pay anything if you do not want to. Thank you for watching, see you soon.